Today I'd like to read you a story that I read to my children when they were much younger, and I love the language in it because it's a bit of a nonsense story. There's lots of made up words and made up places. It's just a bit of fun. It's called Blue Nose Island, Ploo and the Terrible Gnobbler. Let's have a look. The story starts like this. There is a dog with a blue nose tugging at the bedclothes. His name is Dig. Suddenly, from under the bedclothes, another blue nose. It belongs to Ploo. Can you see them? Outside the window in a coconut tree, a little honk owl is honking gently at the stars through its blue beak. It is a new day on Blue Nose Island, or at least it should be. But why is the little honk owl still honking? Why is it still dark? And why are there coconuts all over the floor? Ploo gets up and goes to the window. Down below, his best friend, Hats, is about to throw another coconut. I wonder why he's called Hats. At last you're awake, says Hats. Come quickly, something terrible has happened. And then, all in one breath, there are no oggs for breakfast. The bouncy hens aren't bouncing, so there are no oggs. They won't wake up. Because it's still dark. Because the sun hasn't come up. Because the moon is stuck. Look. He's pointing at Blue Nose Volcano. It is true. The moon has hooked itself in a coconut tree at the top of Blue Nose Volcano. Down on the beach, everyone is talking about it. Ploo says that someone will have to climb the coconut tree and unhook the moon. Everyone agrees. There's a long silence. Everyone is thinking of the Gnobbler, the terrible Gnobbler that lives at the top of Blue Nose Volcano. After a while, Ploo says that he will have to climb the coconut tree as he is the smallest and lightest, apart from Bo, who is too young. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief. I'll come too, says Hats. But Ploo slips away with Dig on his own. Hats, he thinks, will make too much noise and wake the Gnobbler. Before long, he has reached the lagoon at the foot of Blue Nose Volcano. Stay away from the edge, he says to Dig. Why does he say that, do you think? Because the lagoon is full not of water, but of sky and clouds. It is no place to throw a stick for a dog to fetch. If you dive in, you will not sink, oh no, you will fall forever and ever. Ploo stops to look for a while, then heads off into jungly wood that grows up the slopes of Blue Nose. A lagoonie watches him go. I think this must be the lagoonie. What a great imagination. There we go. The jungly wood is Ploo's favourite place. It is full of the sound of jingle trees and bell vine, and everywhere are moths and butterflutters, hecklers and babberchats, slithery snooks, bandicoots and the tiddler frogs. But today, or is it tonight, there's no time to stop and look, for as they climb higher, Dig stops suddenly and listens. There's another sound, a grumbling, rumbling roar, a terrible snore. The Gnobbler is asleep. Good. On top of Blue Nose, the Gnobbler's snores rise up like thunder. Carefully, Ploo slips off Dig's lead and tells him to stay. Then he tiptoes, quiet as a diddy mouse, around the crater rim towards the coconut tree, freezing like a statue in the silences between the snores. He grips Dig's lead between his teeth and begins to climb. Soon his arms ache and his feet begin to slip. As he climbs high, the coconut tree begins to bend. It bends towards the big black hole and the sound of thunder. Hold on, Ploo, hold on, and don't look down. He's at the top. He can barely hold on, but he takes Dig's lead and swings it through the air. Swish, swish. He flicks it at the pointy end of the crescent moon. It misses. Try again, Ploo. Swish, swish. Yes! The lead has hooked the moon. Gently now, gently. He tugs the lead. The moon tilts. The tree groans. A coconut begins to fall. The coconut bounces once, twice, 3 times on the crater rim and down into the black hole. Plop. The snoring stops. Keep quiet, Ploo, and hold on. But Ploo cannot hold on any longer. He falls too. Can you see him falling into the crater along with the coconuts? He grabs at the lead, which tugs the moon and sends it spinning like a great silent Catherine wheel up into the night sky. The coconut tree unbends and shakes off the rest of its coconuts. Ploo falls, head over tail, turning and catching a glimpse, for the first time, inside Blue Nose. There is nothing but blackness and a terrible roaring in his ears. Ploo bounces on Blue Nose. He spins like a little rag doll right over Dig and tumbles down into the jungly wood. And what with the rolling and the tumbling and the spinning in his head and the bouncing of coconuts all around and the screeching of the babberchats and Dig's barking, he cannot tell whether the terrible Gnobbler is right behind him snapping at his heels or not. And it doesn't much matter anyway. Because he tumbles straight into Blue Nose Lagoon. And suddenly all is quiet, except for the sound of Dig barking. Another sound. Swish, creak, swish, creak. The sound of Ploo swinging backwards and forwards on the end of Dig's lead. He is dangling above sky and clouds and nothing much else. And as he dangles there, we'll let him catch his breath and watch as the sun begins to rise at last over Blue Nose Island, which is no ordinary island, as you can see. It's morning at last. The little honk owl flies home to roost in the jungly wood, and the bouncy hens begin to bounce. Breakfast is late on Blue Nose Island, and later still for Ploo, who takes a while to haul himself out of the lagoon and walk back home. He is a hero, of course. Everyone says so. But as he flips open his og, there is a part of him that is still thinking about all that roaring and snoring at the top of the mountain, and he wonders if it was just the sound of Blue Nose breathing, just a volcano rumbling. Perhaps, he thinks, there is no terrible Gnobbler after all, and perhaps there never was. Blue Nose Island, Ploo and the Terrible Gnobbler. Strange, inventive, very creative and fun. I hope you enjoyed it.